Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Hello, I'm Monica Weitzel, your host for Community Hotline. We all know that music provides wonderful entertainment, but it can do so much more. Tonight's show focuses on Bravo Youth Orchestras. Find out how this amazing program helps students thrive and grow through learning to play and perform. Positive youth transformations are happening right here in your community. Find out all about it on tonight's Community Hotline, coming up next. Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Glad you joined us tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking with very special guests. We have Bravo Youth Orchestra. And here to represent the orchestra for our first segment tonight is Sharon Eldridge, the operations manager. It's wonderful to have you here.
It's good to be here.
And Natalie Neshaba, you are the development associate, site director, and training artist, or teaching artist, sorry. Right? Did I get
yes,
that? Okay,
thanks
good,
for having
good.
us.
It's
Excited
great
to be
to have you here. So Bravo Youth Orchestra, I've heard about it before, and then we had them out here for a holiday production this year, which was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I happened to see you again at another event that I went to. But you're everywhere now in the community. It's really an exciting organization. So tell me a little bit about how Bravo Orchestra got started and how long it's been around.
Yeah, so we've been an official organization since 2013, January. We started in one school that had no music in it at all. And
which is a lot of them now, isn't it? I mean,
which is quite a few.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
So we decided to come in and start an El Sistema-based program in the Roosevelt cluster. So we started at Rosa Parks Elementary with 40 adorable string students.
What ages are we talking about? This was
second and third grade to start. Now we have them all the way up into 8th grade. But we started with 40 kids with a one ensemble, and we've expanded into more schools. We have 170 kids now in our after-school program, and we're serving about 500 in school as well.
So you have both in school and after school
Yeah,
programs.
the after school is a rigorous 2-hour-a-day program. Those kids accelerate very quickly. They're incredibly talented, and I spend a lot of time with them. Yeah.
I have lived in that area, and I know that a lot of those kids probably their families can't afford instruments. How does that work for families who want their kids to be involved, but they can't afford them?
It is considered a high priority area, high priority schools. Our program is almost completely free for the students.
Wow.
We supply instruments, we supply obviously the teaching artists, and a lot of amazing opportunities as well.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Tell me what El Sistema refers to.
El Sistema began in Venezuela. It's a mode of rigorous music education as a means of social change. And it was a great place to be at Rosa Parks because there's no music in the area and we're just spreading it as quickly and powerfully as we can.
That's great. So how many schools now, you said?
I think we're in five schools.
schools?
Five.
Yeah, 5.
Okay. So, so it's very exciting, the things that you're doing, and the kids seem really, really excited. What is your mission in doing this? Is it just to provide opportunities in music for the kids, or is it something more? Because taking these classes and being involved in these performances must do a whole lot more for them than just learning how to play music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the mission is to create social change through the music, so to transform the kids' lives, to give them
Just that. Just
yeah,
transform their lives. Nothing much.
greater self-esteem, enforcing collaboration skills. Of course, it improves their math skills.
Yeah.
We have, like, the kids in Bravo we have an evaluation committee, I think, that can attest to this. Like, they have the kids who are in Bravo, compared to their peers, they have fewer referrals, fewer absences, fewer suspensions,
Well, they're probably
better
so busy
grades sometimes.
they don't have time for any of that, all that stuff that gets them in trouble.
Well, and better grades sometimes too. We
Yeah.
have a lot of our kids, like she teaches kids from Chavez, 5th through 8th graders from Cesar Chavez. And when I go through Chavez and I see like who's on the honor roll, at least a third of the list is Bravo kids.
Must make you proud. Must
Yeah.
make you
I'm
both
so
proud.
proud.
Yeah, must make you both proud.
Yeah.
You brought a video, and it has something to do with crossing borders, right? Tell me what that's all about.
That's a major annual fundraiser that we do. I think we started this is Crossing Borders 3. 2 years ago we started this. So we have an artist in residence program. Which I need to back up. We have guest artists who come once a week generally.
Okay.
And then we expanded the guest artist visit to an artist residency. So an artist comes and spends maybe 5 weeks, once a week with the kids, developing music with them. And then 2 years ago, we made the culmination this big showcase. And I think the artists were from Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So those are the borders that we're sort of crossing. So we had 3 different artists working with 3 different ensembles, and then we had this big showcase fundraiser in the spring. And so we did that last year. We're doing it again this year. So
In hearing about, I think we'll wait on seeing that video. It could maybe save that for a little later because that will be, that's what you're going to be going to next is this big gala, right?
Yeah.
But you also brought some pictures from. Tell me what we'll be seeing. Are these the students performing, or are these events? What are these?
Yeah, there are students performing. So my major job is to coordinate our concerts and events, and so I coordinate the field trips, and I'm there for most of them. And when I think about where we go and how many, we have 9 ensembles, and they perform all different kinds of places.
She's everywhere.
Yeah. When I thought about it, I thought about like how broad, the range of places we play is. We've played on street corners, we played next to an elevator in a corridor, and we've played on stage at the Schnitzer Auditorium. So we've played.
Where was that last
everywhere.
one? That first one that we saw?
Oh yeah, that was at Roosevelt High School. That was at a YSE joint concert on Sunday.
Okay.
So some of our 6th graders. Yeah. So the kids in the white shirts are YSE students, and the kids in the gray shirts are our 6th graders at George Middle School.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, and that's Inez Voglar-Belgique, who's the leader of YSE. She's the director.
Wonderful.
And she is an El Sistema graduate. She's from Venezuela.
Oh,
so
really?
She's in El Sistema in Venezuela. This is us on stage with Black Violin. This is also the 3rd time we played with Black Violin on the Schnitzer stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, it was very exciting.
Rock star moment.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, that must be wonderful for the kids to be able to be playing with, an already established group that they can look up to and aspire to be like. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they got to watch them earlier. They're up in the balcony rocking out.
I love it. I love it.
This is a jury box at the federal courthouse. This is at a naturalization ceremony, I think about a year and a half ago. These are, I think they were 2nd year strings, our Brahms ensemble. Yeah, playing in a jury box. Because we're
So can they be
flexible.
hired for different events then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
This is this past January. These are our 1st year winds and percussion at the annual Martin Luther King celebration that they do, that the World Arts Foundation puts on every year at Highland.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's Natalie. Yeah, right.
Hey, there's me.
This is, I think I took this picture and Renee Fleming was like maybe 3 feet to my left.
Wow.
And our clarinetist there on the right, there was an elevator right next to her. So we were just like crammed at an OHSU building, like in a little lobby.
But Renee Fleming, that's big time.
Yeah,
you know,
Renee Fleming, a postlude.
A world famous vocalist. They were very excited about that.
I bet.
Yeah.
And just being exposed to that is huge. Now this
And
one,
that's
I
right
remember
here.
that was right here, right here in this very
Yes,
spot.
our second year wins from Chavez right here.
They were so fun. They were so fun, and they were so good.
They're such, they're sweet kids.
So that was our annual holiday performance that we have here. So,
Yeah.
so you have the kids going out into all sorts of, you know, community events, and I mean, how do you choose where they're going to go?
Some people approach us,
Yeah.
and then I sometimes reach out to people.
Okay.
Or people will kind of like plant, you know, like put bugs in my ear, like, wouldn't it be great to go to the coast? I'm like, okay, I'm on it. Wouldn't it be great to play at OMSI? Okay, I'll ask them. Or, you know, so
That's
a
great.
lot, yeah, people approach us because they've heard of us, maybe seen us around town like you have, and like,
Yeah.
can you play at this event I'm doing? Or I get requests from the staff, or I just think, well, what would be cool myself?
You were on our list for a couple of years straight.
Yeah,
here, so,
that's right, because it fell through last year for some
Yeah,
reason. We couldn't
yeah.
make it happen last year, or
Hey,
2017.
you're wanted. You're needed. Huh?
Like it.
So tell me a little bit about your WINS program that you.
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to teach the same set of kids for the most part for the last 3 years. So
Wow. So you just
they're not sick
go
of
up
her.
there with
They
them, huh?
like her. Yeah.
So I love them. Yeah, I'm quite attached to these kids. They have a really special bond. They look out for each other in a way that I haven't seen before in other kids I know their age. It's really special. I also have 4 kids who are brother and sister in my ensemble. So you can imagine
4 kids that are
brothers,
all
3
siblings?
brothers and their sister.
wow.
Out of 20 kids, so they're like
Wow.
fifth.
They're a little.
Fifth of the
And they are not
family.
quiet. They're loud students. And you can imagine what kind of dynamic that brings. But it really does make it feel like we're a family.
Yeah.
And I spend more time with them than I do most of my friends because we're together every day after school. So
this is an after-school program.
yeah,
then?
so we're together 2 hours every day after school, which is much more intensive than regular music programming. And so, like I said, they're quite talented kids. They've been working very hard for quite a long time now, some between 3 and 4 years of this type of program. So they're just wonderful at what they do. So we've started to expand from wind instruments and string instruments to percussion now we're teaching, which leads me to bucket band, which is a very exciting new
Bucket
development
band
that we
sounds
have.
very fun.
Yeah, so Home Depot helped us get some orange buckets, and we've got our supplies, and we have a teacher who teaches. Oh, there we
Yeah.
are. Okay, so we
Check that out.
We performed at our
winter concert.
concert a bucket band piece, and yes, it's very loud. Yes,
But
it's
everybody
slightly
loves-
obnoxious, but
Everybody
it's
loves,
so fun.
you know, go downtown and somebody's, you know,
Oh,
putting on a
yeah.
show in the corner. I mean, my
great
granddaughter
rhythms.
who's 4, or almost 4, she loves that. So she's like, I want to go listen. I wanna
Yeah,
go
you're
listen.
gonna start
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
get up out of your seat, which is exactly what the parents did because
Yeah.
they're so
That's
see
so
that.
great.
Those silver pieces are HVAC pieces, which I don't really know their function in real life, but for us, they're our snare drum per se.
That's
They sort
great.
of have that tinny sound to
Yeah.
it, and so you can actually get a pretty wide, diverse range of sounds with just these 2, pieces of.
I think that's so
equipment.
fun. Well, and that's something that you can play anywhere, right? I mean, you don't have to have a lot of money to play a bucket.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. So, when the kids come into the program, do they choose what instrument they're interested in, or do you choose for them, or do they already have experience with something?
On the wind side, we have them experiment with a couple because there's 4 instruments you can start with: flute, clarinet, trumpet, or trombone. And so they get to choose sort of what they're attached to. But if someone's making a great sound on the flute, you say that instrument is calling you because
encourage
that's
them
not
to
for
follow.
everyone.
Yeah.
Hard to get sound
Yeah.
flute out of the gate.
Yeah, and then sometimes they switch. We've had kids swap in after a year. But we also introduce new instruments like euphonium we have now, which
I have
is
no idea what that
it's
is.
like a mini tuba.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a pretty
really?
cool brass instrument that you sort of perch on your shoulder.
That's kind of cool because
Yeah.
tubas are way too big for
Too
most
big.
kids.
Too
Yeah.
big, yeah. And then we also have a bass clarinet now, which adds a really warm, beautiful sound to the
Oh, nice.
ensemble, and yeah, we're really expanding.
And French horn.
And
The-
French
The
horn.
first year wins in percussion have French horn. I think
Yeah.
2 French horn.
Wow, wow, that was so great. so you've got the after-school program, and then so neither of you are in, or you don't do the teaching. You're managing all the programs. Are you a musician?
I'm a little bit of a musician, and Bravo's bringing me out to be more of a musician. So I played clarinet in her group, maybe officially once. We played Thriller at this
how
this
fun.
Body Box concert, and like we were all wearing costumes.
Oh,
and
that's great. And
I
Body
played
Box is so
clarinet.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Played clarinet then, and then I played electric bass guitar sometimes with
cool.
She rocks.
as well.
Our director, co-producer plays basically.
Oh, really?
You guys could get together and put on a show for
Yeah.
us.
And I'm learning upright bass now as well from one of our teaching
wow.
artists.
Oh, how
Yeah.
fun. So what all do you think the kids get out of these programs? I mean, obviously they learn the music skills, but you know, it seems like confidence and
That's what I was going to say. It's a
Patience.
different type because, you know, I mean, middle school self-confidence is often sort of a fabricated, like, puff your shoulders type of emotion.
Yeah.
But I feel like I see the kids not having to put on a front because
they already know they're good at
they
something.
know they're good, and they know that their Bravo friends will back them up whenever they need it, and you know, it's just
They fit in somewhere.
they do.
belong.
Yeah, we
they
create a
do.
community.
They belong,
And I
yeah.
look back at me as a 6th grader, and I don't know if I'd be able to pull off all the stuff that they do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even with all the support I had, they're really talented, and they have good management with their time now in 6th grade.
See, and that kind of thing is a huge thing to learn, you know,
That's
for
invaluable.
anybody at
Yeah,
any age.
for sure.
That's a really important thing.
Yeah.
What about language? Because I know that English is a second language for a lot of the kids in some of these schools, but music kind of transcends language. Is that a hindrance at all? I mean, do you have issues with that, or is it not that big a deal?
I think all of our kids I know of are fluent English speakers.
Are they?
Even if they speak
Okay.
another language at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
My team teacher, though, is from Venezuela, and he recently moved here, and he struggles with English, and I struggle with Spanish in the same way. And so at first, we didn't know much about each other, but there have been so many moments from the start of the school year up until now that I really know who he is, and not because we've had to have long conversations about it, but just because something funny will happen in the trumpet section, and him and I can give each other this look like, oh, that was a wrong note. Like,
So you understand his sense of humor, he understands
Yeah.
yours, and what makes
Yeah.
you tick. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I love the sense of family that you bring to this. So how are you funded then? If you're, I mean, you don't hardly charge anything for this.
So I can talk about the
Yeah.
individual donor side of things, which is a huge chunk of where we get our funding, which is great because that's just people in the community who
They want to support that.
they want to
They wanna
support
give it,
us.
yeah.
The development side of my job is making sure that we're having meetings with people in the area who are interested, making sure that our relationships are staying intact with those who are already supporting us, and just making sure people are getting out to see the kids frequently, because that's really, I mean, once you see them play, it kind of sells
Well, and it
itself.
tugs at your
Yeah.
heart because
Yeah.
you're seeing these kids that are
And they're
like
just so-
blossoming and
Yeah.
and the showmanship. I mean, just being able to get out there and perform for people, that's a scary thing for a lot of people. And for kids to
Yeah.
get out there and have the confidence and the self-assuredness to get out there and perform for the public.
Yeah.
I think that's
We
a big deal.
also have a great partnership with Portland Public Schools. We're super thankful to be able to use their facilities and come in after school and during school, and we support each other, and it's been really great to have that as well.
Are there plans to expand to more schools?
Yes.
Yes.
On the docket right now is Roosevelt High School, which will have our first 9th graders next year.
I mean, they've already gone through the
We
program?
have several
Yeah.
8th graders, and so they will be 9th graders no matter what.
Right.
So you're going to stay with them then?
Yeah.
That's our
So
intention.
Or they'll stay with you, however that works. yeah.
Right. Like I said, you know I love these kids and I'm very attached to them. I want to see them
You don't wanna let them
through
go.
high school. I want to see them go to the college of their dreams. Like that's
Yeah.
just what I want to
That's awesome.
see.
Well, let's show that video now, the one that you were talking about, the Crossing Borders. You called it the Blossom video. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So
'cause
let's take a look
nice
at that now so we can find out what that's all about.
Okay. Yeah.
My name is Keisha Blossom Renea Diana Chittick, and I go by Blossom musically. It's really nice to see kids kind of go from being nervous and then being like not nervous anymore to like excited and then willing to share. As an immigrant, crossing borders means breaking the wall down, and there being no barriers and there being no borders. I get to play music from all around the world.
Like, it's a fundraiser that we can use the money for other kids to join Bravo, have a great experience at Bravo.
Yo, one, get there because it's important.
It's a really good show. We are gonna play really good pieces. You're gonna love it.
I know a lot of my followers are all about community because that's what I'm about. So each and every one of us, adult and kid, are experiencing crossing some sort of border, whether it's how we create with each other, how we create by ourselves, and how we interpret our creativity.
That's great. Tell me real quick before we run out of time, what are some of the places that your kids have performed at? Some of the cool places.
We performed for, the governor.
Oh, yeah.
Both
The
inaugurations,
inauguration.
actually.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
We played for the Multnomah County Commissioners. We played at City Hall. We've played at the Portland Children's Museum. We've played at the Schnitzer Auditorium.
Yeah. I heard you were at OMSI one time. Is that right?
We've
Or is
not
that,
gotten there
or
yet.
not
We're
OMSI?
working on it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
one of the ones you wanted to. Okay. Oh, okay.
We've played, oh my gosh, where some are you? The St. John's Bazaar.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
I
see.
know that.
The MLK Day thing that was on there.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Wow. A real
We played at
variety.
OHSU.
Well, then
We're
you're
gonna
at
play
that
there
99 Girlfriends thing, don't
Yeah,
you?
we
So
played
that was
there.
really fun.
Yeah.
And at the holiday showcase here at MetroEast.
And we played at a bunch of senior homes as well.
They must love that.
Retirement
Oh, my goodness.
communities.
Yes. We are out of time, and I'm sorry that we don't have more time, but I appreciate you both coming on here. And then
Thanks
we're
for
going to
having
follow
us.
up this interview with interviewing a couple other people from
More
Bravo.
Bravo.
So I am looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in finding out more information, they can go to your website, check it out, and watch for Bravo Youth Orchestra performances in the community.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right.
Come see us.
Yes. Thanks so much for watching this first segment. Don't go away. We have more of Bravo Youth Orchestras coming up next.
I feel like everybody loves music. And for kids like us in Rockwood to have something like this, like the tools that you guys provide for us, I feel like it's really important because we can get our story out. We can tell about what we're going through in these streets and stuff.
The future is accessible. Everything we do today paves the way for tomorrow.
Como medios comunitarios, tenemos una parte importante en una cultura que está constantemente cambiando.
И нам нужно спросить себя, будет ли сообщение средств массовой информации в будущем одновременными и одноменными?
How do we share our collective resources within and between our communities?
Làm thế nào chúng ta có thể sử dụng công nghệ truyền thông chúng ta muốn làm cho tương lai của chúng ta tốt đẹp hơn?
Izazov za nas je da napravimo budućnost dostupnu za sve.
To start the conversation, join us at MetroEast Community Media.
Hi, I'm Multnomah County Commissioner Jessica Vega Peterson. Tune in to Community Hotline Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and you'll find out about local issues and organizations making a positive difference in our community.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I am Monica Weitzel. We're at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham. Now we're going to continue our conversation with Bravo Youth Orchestras. Here for our second segment, we have Cecile Elliott. You are the Bravo Sit-in Site Director,
yes,
correct? And you're also the violin teaching artist, Director of Creative Play, Collective Composition, and who knows what else.
Lots of things. Lots of things.
And Amelia Honeycutt, you are the Bravo Rosa Parks Site Director and cello teaching artist.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, both of you.
Thank you for
It's a pleasure, yeah.
So most of the, well, pretty much all the schools are pretty much in the North Portland area at this time. I understand they're hoping to expand into Roosevelt High School next year.
That's the plan.
Which is really exciting to keep the kids going. So what ages are the kids that you are working with? These are both elementary schools?
Yes, yeah, both elementary schools.
Okay.
Mainly, I think at Rosa Parks it's 2nd through 5th grade.
2nd through 5th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's 3rd through 5th grade at Sit-in.
So how did you both get involved with this? And is this like, is this a full-time job for you? Is this a part-time job? How does this work? And did you?
I'm getting to full-time,
You get
yeah.
into
It's, each year, the goal, and a lot of our board members support this, is to take teaching artists and hopefully give them more administrative duties to get them to full-time.
Okay.
So I'm working on that.
That's the site director.
Yes, that's the site director and the multiple titles after that.
Yes.
It just grows.
Which is good.
It's great,
You know, expand your repertoire of skills.
Yeah.
So you're both musical artists in your own right, I assume. What are your backgrounds?
My background started mainly in classical. I grew up in a strings family, so we all play strings in my family.
Really?
Yeah, sisters, extended family, lots of musicians.
Wow.
So I grew up in the classical world, but with also parents who were really interested in jazz and all kinds of other types of music. And so then I also found a lot of comfort in pop and in rock and in folk music, and eventually in college and jazz. So it's sort of been a mix of a lot of different things, and that's something that I've tried to bring to my students at Bravo.
Well, I think that's important because a lot of times people think of orchestra and they think classical, and they just
stuffy classical musician.
Yeah. Which classical's not, but if that's all you know when you think of orchestra, and you don't think about all these other possibilities, like those kids in the last segment that were playing with was it black violin?
Yeah, black violin.
Yeah. You know, or the Portland Cello Project, or something like that, where they actually play different kind of music than you would expect and make it, it's exciting for kids, especially if there's something they might recognize.
Yeah, and strings are so diverse in that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, winds too, just in music in general, I think orchestral instruments, there is a tendency to think of them as being only for orchestras in the traditional sense, but you see them pop up, you see them in hip hop, you see them in pop, you see them in musical, in all of these different styles.
Right.
Yeah.
So to be able to expose kids to that and sort of open up their eyes that this is not boring, like you said, boring classical, whatever.
Right.
This is
Well, yeah, and you'd be surprised too. I played a recording for them of the planets without telling them what it was ahead of time, of Jupiter. And one of the kids in my class said, "This is so cool." So it's you get surprised sometimes because you think that that they might not like classical music, but then they do oftentimes.
Right.
And so it's a mix of a lot of different things. It's very cool.
I think one of the first places kids are exposed to it is watching cartoons, especially the older cartoons where they used to have, the orchestras that were backing up, the Bugs Bunny and stuff like that from back in the day. And I remember realizing that once when I was a kid, I was like, this music is, it goes with the pictures, and just as a really young
kids,
kid.
They're all about tablets and watching Netflix and movies, and they come to us with requests.
Yeah.
One of our ensembles is playing the soundtrack from Moana now.
I love that.
And they even stuff on the radio, they ask us to make arrangements, and we try our best to accommodate that, to keep them involved.
Well, and that keeps them interested, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, Cecile, you're at Sit-in, and Amelia, you're at Rosa Parks. Do you stay at those schools then? Is there much, jumping from school to school, or you try to stay at one school and work with the kids?
Yeah, mainly. We stay mainly at our sites, but we do try to do cross collaboration when we can. There's some that we're even talking about for our spring concert coming up, of even doing some collaboration with our sites and then with the WIN sites too, of doing the same piece and just learning it separately and then coming together and performing it together.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So you said something about the spring concert that was coming up. You have a lot of concerts and a lot of performances in different areas. There's quite a diversity of places that you're performing. You have some pictures. Can we take a look at those and kind of get a feel for some of those performances?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what we got in the line of pictures then. And most of these are student performances, right? These are all
they all are student performances. Yeah, this is our third and fourth year strings ensemble, and this is also them playing on stage at the Schnitz with the Black Violin Group. Yeah.
What a great experience.
It was so much fun. These kids know how to party. Yeah, this was a big deal, and they look kind of serious now, but backstage they were having a ball.
I bet they were.
That was fun being in the audience for that one.
They get their game faces on when it's time.
And here you're outdoors.
We're out, this is at
this is at St. John's?
I believe this is in St. John's. This is actually our flagship group that started 6 years ago. This is them now performing. I think it was for a Roosevelt homecoming celebration event. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This was just this past weekend. This was actually at the Cascade Festival for African Films.
Oh, yeah.
And so the students...
was that at PSU?
Yeah, it was at PSU at the Cascade campus.
Yeah.
And they played...
That from last year.
Yeah, they were the opener. Every weekend I think it's not just this one weekend. There was a couple weekends in a row. They would screen a new film by an African director, and this was before one of those, and they were a hit.
I bet they were.
And outside of this auditorium, there was several booths of people selling African art and books, and they got to see all of that.
Oh, that's great.
And these are my kids. This is the youngest, the beginner, the first year ensemble.
And so these are like second graders?
These are second and third graders.
Just precious.
Yeah, and they got to play. That was their very first concert. They played a prelude concert at the Schnitz.
With the Oregon Symphony?
Yeah, and it was so great because they had pirates dressed up and engaged the kids. They loved it.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Oregon Symphony, that's big time, and that's exciting stuff
huge.
for them.
For a lot of them, it's their first time in a venue like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Seeing,
certainly their first time playing one, I'm sure.
Right, and that as well, their first time performing.
So you have the performances. You're also doing now some composing. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about that, because you're the Director of Creative Play Collective Composition. And that's an interesting title.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
It means a couple different things. The creative play side of it is all about finding and developing new curriculum that's all about playing with music, because a lot of what we do comes from teaching from specific traditions and teaching them this is how you read the notes, this is how you play the instrument, and creative play is more about how can you read the notes, how can you play the instrument, what can you write, like what's new that you're interested in.
Trying to kind of think a little bit outside the box.
What do you inherently have to share?
Yeah. And so sometimes it just has to do with them having, say, the buckets, like Natalie was talking about earlier. Yeah, sometimes it's about just playing with the buckets and making new rhythms, or sometimes it's about playing with boom whackers and just listening to the sound. Boom whackers are these long tubes.
I'm not classically trained, so I don't know boom whackers.
It's not a classical instrument per se.
So tell me again what it is. So what is it?
They're these long, colorful tubes, and when you hit them, they make different pitches.
Oh, okay.
And so they can learn about chords that way, or they can write melodies in that way. Because especially with stringed instruments, a lot of what we do is teaching them how to find the notes, and you don't have to do that with a boom whacker. You get the chance to just have the note at your, kind of like a piano, you have it at your fingertips, and you can
whack it and you got the note. Is that it?
Yeah. So they can change their order, and they can make new melodies, and just. It's all about being creative and having fun and exploring sounds.
Yeah, and just exploring their own creativity on that, and just encouraging that is great.
Yeah. And then the other side of my job is developing collective composition at Bravo. And that is basically taking all of those elements of creative play, but doing them together. One of the things I talk about with them is how when they write by themselves, it's all about them and it's all about what they want to say. But when we're writing together, it's all about what does the group feel right now? What does the group want to say? So that's
a lot of teamwork involved in doing that.
Yeah, it's all
lots
teamwork,
of listening,
collaboration.
lots of collaboration.
So the skills they learn are kind of huge, aren't they? I mean, those are skills that they're going to need just to get along in society.
Those are big life
Team
skills
building
that they
and
get
collaboration
through music.
and being able to listen and let other people have a turn. And,
Yeah, because sometimes they don't agree with each other. They'll have
Sure
different
they don't.
ideas. They'll have different
happens
ideas.
at work
and-
all day.
Yeah, it's gonna go for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and
Those
then they
are
have
great.
to find a way to navigate it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the kids. Can you tell me? I mean, you don't have to name names.
Oh,
Can
I'll
you
just
tell me
gush
about some of the
about them for
kids about,
days.
you know,
Yeah.
like what they come in as and how, you know, what did they get out of this? And
Yeah,
what have you seen?
Well, for my students at Rosa Parks, so many of them are just sassy, and they have this adult sassiness that takes you back, back at first. But once you build relationship with them, and you have to gain their trust. That's a big part of my job, especially is as site director and as a conductor and teacher. I have to gain trust of not just my students, but their families and the in-school administration, because we're all working together to help give these kids the best life they can get and show them the potential they have. And a lot of them pick up on that, and they know
you're there for them.
Yeah, they know we're there for them.
Yeah, and they have to know that.
Yeah.
They have to.
We're there every day with them, and
I'm sure they feel it. I mean, I can
feel
tell.
it.
I can, feel that you
Yeah.
care very much about the kids.
and you can see it click with them too, and especially when they learn how to play a certain note or a line of music, they'll look at you like, I did it, and then
are you proud of me?
Totally, and they look
Yes.
for that, and I give it to them like, yes,
Make me
you
cry.
nailed it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You brought a couple videos, right? So we have a student composition video. We have a winter concert video. The student composition video. Should we take a look at that one?
Absolutely.
Tell me what we're going to see.
So these are the after-school students at Sitten, and they. I'll go into a little bit of a background how we got to the point before we show it.
Okay.
So I was telling you earlier, collective composition is about what does the group want to say.
Yeah.
And so one of my jobs as a facilitator in that way is to think of what is something that they all have in common. And one of the first things I noticed right off the bat was that they had a very strong sense of rhythm. And so I brought this to them, this idea of rhythm, and we made this big brainstorming session on the whiteboard.
And what ages are these kids you're talking
These are the 3rd through 5th graders.
Okay.
And they had also just gone to a paintbrush factory very recently at that time, just as a field trip. Yeah. And so they were talking about all the different things that they learned about the paintbrushes. And so I went out and I bought some paintbrushes, and we played with the paintbrushes on the buckets, and then they wrote words that created rhythms that then created and informed the rest of the song that they performed at the winter concert that we're about to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's. So this is the winter concert that we're going to look at.
Yeah,
It's-
from December.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just this
So
past
let's
December.
take a look at that now.
That's a great video.
You were leading them very well there. That was great.
Yeah, I was giving them different cues so that they could know where they were, because none of the music was written down.
Wow.
So yeah, I gave different
a big
So
part
they
of
have to
collective
learn to
compass.
follow the cues and the directions and just
It's not like written out traditionally and notated music.
Yeah.
Which is also part of the creativity, is
Right,
you know,
yeah.
doing it a different way. You don't always have to do it the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why do you think this is important to kids, to learn music or to be involved in the arts?
It's a loaded question, but
I mean, there's a lot. I can think of a lot of it, but what do you think is like, what's the most important thing kids get out of this?
Music translates into so many other disciplines, math, reading, language. And, you know, my dream is that one of these kids will pursue music in and of itself and be a better musician than I am and pass that on.
And even if they're not, they'll have music in their lives.
Absolutely. You're once a musician, always a musician. Just even if they don't pursue their instrument that they're on now, they're going to have these basic skills that they can pick up at any time in their lives.
And you're right, like you said, the connection with math and language and all that is just, that's huge.
Yeah. And even the side that relates to creativity, you know, there's so many studies out there that talk about the importance of learning how to be creative and learning about the creative process, especially when we look at careers 10, 20, 30 years from now and the kind of creativity that that's going to require. So even that translates to other areas of their lives too, of being able to, you know, when I think about innovation in history, it's all about who was willing to think creatively or new about something.
Which I just learned when I was in my creative play collective competition class.
Exactly.
I'd like to thank.
They're all going to be able to know exactly when they learn that skill. Thanks to Cecile.
Before we run out of time, there was another video that was, you said, it's a dress rehearsal for the winter concert?
Yeah, the same event that we just saw, but this was my kids warming up before
your kids.
The big show. Yeah.
So your kids and now your kids.
My kids, yeah.
I think we should take a look at that one.
Yeah, let's do
it. Let's do it. Aren't they great?
They're great, yeah.
So when you're teaching the kids, what's your process of teaching? Is there a way that teachers go out and teach music, or do you just kind of come up with your own formula for how you want them to learn?
It depends on, especially at Rosa Parks, we have 3 ensembles that come out of that one school. So I have a number of different teaching artists who are on my team, and we all come from our own backgrounds and how we learn music. My method and what we do in a lot of the Bravo sites is to not just do instrumentation as our only form of teaching music. We also do choir. We use solfege, which is, if you know the sound of music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Yes.
We use that. And that helps with ear training with the kids, and they take that into sight reading new music. And we try our best to just use other avenues of music outside of traditional sitting down, here's your instrument, let's learn these notes.
Right. Which has got to make it more interesting and fun for the kids too. You know, just you don't always have to do things the same way. Yeah. So what do you get out of it personally to do this? Because I get the feeling you both really like what you do.
Yeah.
The smiles just come on your face. What do you get out of it, Cecile?
For me,
how does it feed your soul? If it does, then I think it does.
Yeah,
depends on the day.
I get that.
There's so, you know, Amelia actually alluded to part of this earlier. One of the most gratifying things about it is being able to know that you made a difference for someone and that you were able to pass off something that you're passionate about and able to share it with someone else and help them find their own, who they are inside of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I have a feeling that the kids probably look up to you a lot. You know, you're role models for them. So we're just about out of time. So if parents are interested in having their kids learn music and they go to one of those schools, they can they'll be able to talk to the administration or whatever and find out how their kids can get involved, I assume.
Yep.
What if there's no Bravo Youth Orchestra program at somebody's school, but they really want that to happen? Do you know if they can,
there's some exceptions. If a student isn't in the Roosevelt cluster and where we already serve them, there is potential for talking to our administration, potentially having a student audition or speaking to us if they really are committed to that every day after school.
Do you think, and this may not be your area to answer, but do you think you'll be adding more schools so that people, if they really want that at their school, so that maybe youth orchestras Bravo could expand to other schools?
I feel like that's always, I'm not the best person to speak to it, but I can say that that's always been part of the goals. And I think eventually, especially with the expansion into Roosevelt next year, and then Sitten, my school, it was a new school as of this year for the after-school program.
Good. Yeah. So, I mean, I think as people see the success of Bravo Youth Orchestras and what it's doing for kids in the community, it's time for music to come back into the schools. So, thank you both for what you're doing. I can tell that you're passionate and that you're doing a great job. And I'm very impressed with Bravo Youth Orchestra. So, if people are interested, they can call and try to get you out there for a performance
to
wherever it is. Yeah,
kids are show kids. They love to
perform. There you go.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed finding out about Bravo Youth Orchestras tonight. It's a fun program and so beneficial to your kids. So check it out, go to their website, and look for them in the community. I'm Monica Weitzel. We'll see you here next week on Community Hotline.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
That was awesome. It's like I think this is going to be very easy for you. The shawl looks really good. The necklace looks awesome. All right.
All right.
Let's get it.
Hi, my name is Sulako Abdi. I'm from Somalia. I've been here for almost 5 years. I go to Gresham High School. I have 7 siblings, and I don't read the Quran that much. Like Africa, I used to read every day, but now I don't read the most. I watch Netflix all the time. I never saw someone who's not wearing hijab, like white, like wearing jeans, the kissing thing, the school, everything was really shocked when I was here, first came here. They were like homeless, sleeping in front of the houses, and we were like, why are they living here? Like, we didn't know what homeless was in Africa. So we came here to get a good education, a good life, and have like the life we wanted, always wanted.
My name is Galina. My last name is Nekrasova. I'm a Russian lady. When I come into the Portland, I was surprised why people not walk. Because St. Petersburg is full with people. Here not, empty streets.
My name is Tafawata Fayalang. We come from Samoa. Yeah, it's a tropical island. We lean on the food from the forest, like eat fresh fish every day. If you want to eat, go to the sea and catch the fish. If you want to eat taro, then you go to the plantation and bring the taro and the coconut tree and drink the coconuts. Sometimes I kind of like worry about going anywhere because of my English. Right now I go to school, you have to go and learn the language. My kids have been bullying in school.
He always kicked me under the table. I told the teacher like 3 times, and they suspended him for 3 days.
Mom, can you come to school and stay in school while other kids bullying me?
It was kind of shocked like the first day, like asking a question, why did he hate me? Why did he ask me this question, like why am I wearing this? What kind of religion is this? What the heck am I wearing? Like why is it black?
Go back to where you came from. If you don't speak English, if you don't understand.
So the first time I was like, all people are like bad. I was kind of afraid to make other friends. So it was kind of not good in the first couple years. After, I make friends. I have a lot of best friends. I like not 1 or 2, but I have all of them best friends.
It was shock for me. When I come in, of course I start to look job. I am a good organizer. It is number 1. I am a very busy lady. I organize a program with elderly people. We have 30 people. They come in, they're talking, they're singing, they study telephones, how to operate them. They start to study computers. We are doing exercises 1 hour every day. We feeding them 2 times per day. I really like work with elderly. As the psychologist, I understand them well. I know how to help them. All my jobs, I work. I like. I love.
The only thing I'm thinking about is my kids, so we can make our own business of our family, like printing good clothes and sewing. I love being American, so that's why I live here.
The first of the couple years, I didn't know anything about sport, but now I play tennis. First, my family were like, are you changing your religion? You're gonna wear shorts, you're gonna wear jeans. But I talked to my coach and he said, you can wear anything. I was kind of excited to see someone else who's Muslim and wearing the same hijab. So I have a little connection there, but it wasn't there. There's no one who's playing tennis except me who's wearing hijab. I want to become a doctor and help the people in my home country.
I wish I want to open my market in a flea market. So that's what I want to do for the future.
I don't like to sit. I don't know when I will go to be retired. How I will do to sit. Work, work, work. My future is work, work, work.
There's no one in Rockwood that I don't know of that I wouldn't consider my family. The thing that actually would hold Rockwood together would have to be our goals and our aspirations, because we all want to be part of something bigger, not even realizing that we already are. There's nothing that you can't do in Rockwood. I'm a musician, I am an engineer in training, and I'm also a producer. If you're trying to learn something, there's always people out here in Rockwood that are willing to help you. When I came to MetroEast was nothing but open arms to me.
What impresses me most about J&Day is not only their hunger for knowledge and their thirst to create, but their innate skill. And it's a perfect marriage. MetroEast, Rockwood DIY, J&Day, their youth and their vision. And when they heard about what we were doing at Rockwood here at the DIY and that we were going to be putting in a recording studio, they lit up like Christmas trees.
I'm from Rockwood, born and raised here, and I make music, I produce, and I engineer. Honestly, I just really like the people. I've been here my whole life. When I think Rockwood, I'm thinking, there's different colors, there's different people. I feel like that's what makes us so saucy. It gives kids like me and Jordan a chance. I want to do it all. I want to be a director, I want to be a producer, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a scientist. That diversity definitely inspires me. And that we're all going kind of through the same struggles in this community. But we're going through it together, so let's work together. When we're together, we are hard hitters. We're here to build. We're here to move on. Everybody has pride. Everybody in Rockwood wants to make it.
If I want it, and if you want it, there's nothing that's going to stop us from grabbing it. My name is Jordan Ribbon, and this is my Rockwood story.
This is Rockwood. This is my story.